Do you find yourself drowning in endless information, to-do lists, and packed schedules? Constantly comparing yourself to others and always feeling behind no matter how much work you put in? Do you find yourself thinking, I can't keep this up? Why does it have to be so hard? When do I get to be happy? Are you secretly waiting for someone to tell you it's okay? Stop trying to chase someone else's definition of success. Stop working so hard. You don't need to be miserable. You're allowed to be happy on the way to your goals, or not have any goals at all. This is your permission slip to throw misery out the window and start living a life that you love today, not in the distant future. I'll show you exactly how I went from being paralyzed from pressure, stress, exhaustion, to enjoying working 20 to 47 hours again while having depression and PTSD using cognitive neuroscience and psychology. I love this quote from the Dalai Lama. He says, "What surprises me most about humanity is man. He sacrifices his health to make money, then he sacrifices his money to recuperate his health. And then he is so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present. The result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he's never going to die and then dies having never really lived." So on a Monday in June, I set my goal to work only 2 hours a day and accidentally 20x my output. Not with a new app or a stricter schedule, but with a tiny experiment that took all the pressure off myself and gave me permission to enjoy the journey and follow my curiosity. In just 2 hours, I accidentally swapped stress, exhaustion, self-blame, misery for rest, play, curiosity, and joy. And to my surprise, energy just magically appeared out of nowhere. Hey, I'm Michelle. I'm building Melia, a data-driven holistic wellness app. I share the ups, the downs, and the lessons learned from building the life of my dreams. Psychologist Anne Law explains that our modern society values productivity as a measure of a human's worth. So we've been conditioned to think that if I'm not working myself to death, I'm not contributing to society, and that makes me a bad person. But modern productivity overloads our brains with endless to-do lists, rigid schedules, constant competition and comparison. We try to brute force willpower, but our brains just haven't evolved fast enough alongside this technology. This makes us very stressed, anxious, and unhappy. So she talks about cognitive scripts that quietly drive our choices. There's the epic script. Everything must be the most ambitious version of your goal or it's failure. Cognitively, this overwhelms us and causes us to give up. Then there's the crowd pleaser script, choosing what you think will make everyone else happy instead of yourself. And then there's the sequel script, where you keep doing what fits your past story, even if it doesn't fit you anymore. Like choosing all your careers based on what you studied at university. This limits your decisions and possibilities in life. So how do you know you're following a script? It's when you hear yourself say the word should. I should be further. I should be posting daily. I should love this career because I studied it. Tiny experiments replace should with might. I might try this for a few weeks and see how it feels. They shift our focus from outcome to process and from certainty to curiosity, which is lighter and kinder and surprisingly more productive. Instead, it's more beneficial for us to employ an experimental mindset, to become a scientist. And this is actually my goal with Melia, to empower people to be their own scientists and take their health and wellness into their own hands by harnessing the power of their own data, running experiments, and testing what works for them. So as scientists, we employ the scientific method, which is posing a hypothesis and testing it. So in this context, you pick a research question, you run a tiny experiment for a short duration, and then gather the data. And then you decide if you'll continue, tweak, or drop the experiment and run a new one. So this is how it works. You pick a research question, not a goal. So instead of saying, I want to be fit and healthy, so I'm going to run 3 times a week forever like my friend does, I'm going to try running 3 times a week for 3 weeks and see if it works for me. Instead of I'm going to be a YouTuber, a founder, or a software developer for the rest of my life, I'm going to try it out for 6 months and see if I enjoy it. So your experiment could be, I'm going to try posting a YouTube video every week for 1 year. Or I'm going to spend 1 hour a day learning software development or building my business. So for gathering the data, you track 2 things only. Did I do it? Yes or no? Did I enjoy it? How did it make me feel? Why? Because it's no use you do something that fits somebody else's definition of success, but makes you miserable. Be your own anthropologist. So take quick field notes throughout the day on what gives and steals your energy. Take note of your mood and energy levels after interaction with friends, people, conversations, projects you work on, reading something. You'll find that many of your assumptions will crumble in a good way. So what I learned was the news and social media drain me, so I do less of it. And connecting with and supporting other female founders energizes me. And here I thought that socializing might be a waste of time, or I might feel like it's too much effort given my, diminished capacity right now. But it was the opposite. It gave me energy. So it's not a waste of time if it energizes you. Rather do more of it. On this topic, social health is extremely important and one of the most impactful factors of longevity and happiness, as they found when they did the longest study on happiness. So I encourage you, as a method of recovery from burnout and a buffer from future burnout, please invest in your social health. Go join a community of people who share your interests or are trying to do what you're doing or trying to get where you're going or have gotten there already. So mindful productivity. Use your magic windows. So this is about cultivating awareness on the way you work without self-blame or judgment. Learn to identify what kind of work, conversations, activities naturally make your focus click and make you lose track of time, because that is when you're in your flow state and those are your magic windows. Figure out when that window opens and how to keep it open. For me, it's creative work and mornings, so I make sure to not schedule anything during this time that'll interrupt it. Time versus energy. Time is not our most important resource, as modern society and productivity will have you believe. Energy is. We're humans, not robots. So stop thinking of time as these boxes that you need to stuff as much into as possible, and rather be more considerate of your energy, emotions, and executive function. And accept that those naturally fluctuate. Those naturally fluctuate. Fluctuate. Let's try that again. So rather be more considerate of your energy, your emotions, and your executive function, which naturally fluctuate. Then there's death by 2 arrows, a Buddhist concept about human suffering. The first arrow is experiencing a difficult emotion or a tough day. The second arrow is the shame and self-blame about it. The second arrow is completely in your control and optional, so skip it. You're just adding another layer of suffering. Okay, if you find yourself procrastinating, don't just ignore it and don't beat yourself up for it. It's become a swear word in modern society, but it's actually just a signal of a roadblock. So what you do is run the triple check: head, heart, and hand. If it's your head, it means I'm not convinced this task even matters. The solution is redefine your strategy. If it's your heart, it means I dread it. The solution is redesign the experience to be more fun. Go to a coffee shop, grab a work buddy, or create a playlist of your favorite songs. If it's your hand, it means I lack a tool or a skill. The solution is to ask for help. If it's at work, ask for learning resources or tools, take a course, prepare a template, or find somebody who's managed to accomplish it without this tool or skill that you need. If these 3 are in check and you still find yourself procrastinating, it might be a systemic barrier, like your environment at work or home is not conducive to being focused and productive. In this case, you need to discuss with other stakeholders on how to redesign your environment. And if nothing changes, it might be time to remove yourself from that environment. And lastly, you review the data. Internal data, did I enjoy this? And external data, did my colleagues enjoy this? Did it bring me new projects at work? Was it valued at the company? Then you decide to continue the experiment as is and run it longer, or make a tweak and run it again, or drop it and try a new experiment. So the day everything shifted for me. I had just been flattened by the flu for 2 weeks. I had got no work done. I was so behind. Monday arrives and I'm supposed to be hitting the ground running. And I wake up worse. Sore throat, congested, headache, completely still exhausted. I had decided to do something completely against my nature and rolled over and went back to sleep for another 2 hours. My therapist was so proud because we just discussed how rest is a biological need and not a reward. Then I just sat on the couch staring at the floor, spiraling. The script in my head was, this was not the plan. Today is such a failure. Work is the last thing I want to do right now. I'm a failure. But eventually I got up, I dragged myself into a hot shower, and when I got out, I looked in the mirror and I remember Viktor Frankl's quote, "Between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in this space, we have the power to choose." Now, I'd already acted with self-blame and pity, and it was time to choose differently. So I gave myself permission that day to try a tiny experiment, and I would only work 2 hours a day. I told myself if that's all I could manage in a day, that is completely okay and I can be proud. And my therapist confirmed later, even if I wasn't sick, I'm still battling depression, anxiety, PTSD, trauma. I am in a diminished capacity, so it's completely okay to cut myself some slack. So I spent those 2 hours on something that I was actually curious about, not what I should have been doing. So I opened Melia's design board and started playing. And 5 hours flew by. I stopped working when I felt like it. Zero pressure, zero guilt for resting. It felt amazing. That whole week, I accidentally worked 29 hours. And every week since then, I've been consistently working 20 to 47 hours with less pressure and more joy. When I lowered the bar and let curiosity choose the tasks, I started enjoying being a founder again. And yes, those tasks still moved Melia forward. So this is some interesting psychology. Your brain makes you feel tired when a task looks endless or success is unclear or looks unlikely. It's a mental exhaustion, not a physical one. And it's an energy conservation reflex. So your brain thinks, why waste all this energy if there's a small chance of success? But doing hard things that have uncertain chances of success is how we progress. Tiny experiments shrink the mountain and make progress visible, so your brain stops slamming the brakes. You may not be burnt out. It may just be that you're overwhelmed by your overly ambitious goals and your brain is slamming the brakes. And tiny doesn't mean trivial. Doing 4 hours of deep, focused work is way more productive than doing 8 hours of busy work. Okay, so we need to discuss sustainability and purpose. I still align my experiments to my goals. In my previous videos, I discussed how I found my purpose and set my 12-week year to accomplish those goals to get me closer to my purpose. But for those of you who tried it and still don't know your purpose or your goals, that this video would help you. So this section's for you. While we'd all love to just do work we enjoy, it's not sustainable if it doesn't sustain you financially. Your dream job is something that you love doing, something that you're good at, something that the world needs, and something that you can get paid for. Your Ikigai, your reason for waking up in the morning, your joy, your je ne sais quoi, lies at the intersection of all your passions, skills, experiences, and the causes you care about. If you've tried implementing my videos on finding your purpose and the 12-week year and you still haven't figured it out, then Tiny Experiments is your solution. Your dream job might not exist yet. You might be what's called a multi-potentialite, something I heard in a TED Talk. Like me, you might be someone with a variety of different interests. Combine your weird, wonderful mix into something only you can offer. Some examples I love combined a love for cartography and jewelry and combined it into geographic jewelry. And data analytics and art combined into the new field of data visualization. My mix is marketing, design, data science, psychology, health, and technology to make Melia a wellness app. When you blend your interests, you become rare and useful, which means you can charge more. Data science, data visualization, YouTube creator, none of these jobs existed when I was in school. So I encourage you, if you can't find a job that sparks that fire in you, create a new one. Stop trying to fit yourself into the old, boring boxes of existing jobs. So go be a scientist. Go explore, experiment. Go out and try absolutely everything that sparks your interest. no matter how crazy or unrelated it may seem. Don't worry about what you think you should be doing because of those cognitive scripts, like, I got a law degree, I can't be a painter, SQL script. Or if I do that, I'll disappoint my parents, the crowd pleaser script. Or that's not ambitious or glamorous enough, the epic script. Once you've found what you love doing and what you're good at, then you can figure out how to combine that with what the world needs so you can get paid for it. And that will be your Ikigai. Remember, the goal isn't to impress the world. It's to build a life that feels like yours and makes you happy. It's perfectly fine if your purpose in life is to make yourself happy. You're allowed to be happy on the way to your goals. Healthy, happy people make the world a better place. So, please do the world a favor. Starting today, make your well-being non-negotiable. Give yourself permission to start enjoying life, finding the beauty and wonder in it. Allow yourself to be human and start living. Swap self-blame and misery for joy and wonder. You don't know how long you have to live, or if you'll even be happy at your destination. So enjoying the journey and life as it comes is far more important. So give yourself permission to follow your curiosity and start a tiny experiment. Find out and do what energizes you and cut out what drains you. Manage your energy, emotions, and executive function instead of your time. Combine your unique mix of interests, skills, and experiences into something only you can offer. You'll stumble upon your vision and purpose with repeated experiments. If you try an experiment, tell us how it went. Your story might unlock somebody else's. And if you find yourself saying, okay, I want to start a tiny experiment, but I'm scared, then this next video is for you. When I wanted to start my next experiment, starting my YouTube channel, I was too terrified of what people would think of me. I'll share the psychology that gave me the courage to live without fear and click upload. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm in a really good space today. Things are going really well and I'm feeling so grateful. I had a difficult past few weeks, struggling with my sleep, with my depression, PTSD, whatnot. And yeah, everything's just going really well. Getting my sleep back on track. Yeah. And just so much to be grateful for. It's a beautiful day outside. Feels like summer's finally on its way, spring has sprung. So that's just helped lift my mood, getting more sun, getting better sleep, going to sleep on time, waking up consistently at the same time. Yeah, just in a really good space. So